All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. Some of you know me. If you don't know me, Josh sometimes has me preach. My wife works here with the kids. You've seen her probably if you have kids. And I just sit here playing on my phone and make fun of Josh when service is over. And so he invited me to come speak to you guys today. Now, a few months ago, I actually lost my job, got laid off. And the job that I had, I really, really enjoyed. It was a nonprofit based in East Palo Alto, and I got to work with high school students, teaching them financial literacy and career planning and things like that. And it was a really fun job. I really was, I enjoyed it. I was very passionate about it, and I got to work with a lot of really great students, thousands of students, teaching them, developing this curriculum, creating games for them to be able to learn. I had really good volunteers, over 50 volunteers from the communities, and I used to partner with the teachers and the schools as well. So we were at 11 schools doing our program. And I actually come here and recruit volunteers. I go to a few different places to recruit volunteers, but some of you have heard me recruit volunteers from this place right here. So a few months ago, I got laid off, and this was in the face of very positive reviews coming in on me, and I was like, boy, I'm not doing too bad, I guess. People were saying nice things, but I mean, in that situation, though, we had a really big turnover on management, and so that I had 4 bosses in 2 years. It's a big turnover. So the last one was like, okay, we're going to make some changes. This guy's going to go, and I mean, it's just business. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate, but being that I was so passionate about my work, there's a big void. I really enjoyed doing it. I mean, they could have cut my pay, probably would stay there. I didn't want them to, but so they let me go, and I'm just like, wow. There's a lot of doubts, a lot of stuff comes into your mind, what am I even doing? Am I even good at this stuff? And fortunately, I've had a lot of friends who reached out to me in that when I first got let go, just checking in on me. Okay, Jesse, you okay? Calling me at 8 in the morning to get me up out of bed. Hey, get up, go look for a job. You're okay. You're doing fine. If you need anything, come see me. We'll get lunch. I called Lou up and told him what happened. And he's like, well, let's go get lunch. A lot of people I reached out to just to tell them what happened. And they're trying to be very encouraging. And I was very fortunate to have so many positive friends, because in that situation where you think that you love your job and man, I could do this forever, and then it's like, oh man, my value is on thin ice right now. I might snap. And I have friends who are just so comforting, trying to reassure me. So I was very thankful to have so many good friends like that. So I told Josh when I lost my job a few months ago, I said, I lost my job, man. And he says, oh, you lost your job? Okay, we'll find something for you. And Josh is like, John, you lost your job. Hey, you should preach on Job, because that sounds like that thing that you don't have and we all have. Oh, thanks, Josh. I'll preach on Job then, I guess. So he told me that 3 months ago. We're going to be working in Job for a little bit here, for a couple weeks. And I don't know if you guys have ever read the book of Job. If you're anything like me, maybe you avoided it intentionally. When I was in high school, I heard about the book of Job. Well, Job suffered a lot, Jesse, so you didn't, nothing to complain about. And so I never wanted to read it, because I'm like, I like my excuses to be able to complain. I don't want to read Job and then be like, well, I guess I have nothing to complain about because I read Job. And we went through a lot more. So eventually I read it, and it was like, boy, that's a really weird book. Oh my gosh. If you read the whole thing, you're like, this is really long. And, really redundant. It's a poetic book. It's the super long poem. I'm like, wow, this is really well written if you have the patience for that kind of thing. The actual, a huge, 90% of the book is a poem. A discussion or a monologue, monologues and discussion. And the beginning and the end has stuff happening. So the book of Job begins with or we call him the devil, and comes into the throne room of God, and God asks him, where you been? What you been up to, guy? And the devil's like, I've just been going around the earth. And he said, well, God says, have you checked out Job? He's a pretty top-notch guy. And I think at this point, I mean, there's a lot of like different theories, and I'm just like, I think God is trying to put the devil in his place. He's like, God knows everything. Job doesn't, and the devil doesn't. And so he's like, have you considered Job? Go ahead. Try to test this guy. This guy worships me consistently. Very good guy. Good luck. He is unwavering. Okay, so then the devil goes and tries to mess with Job. And at this point, Job, this is like in ancient times, but he's like a multi-millionaire, you would consider him. If he's in the Bay Area, he owns like what you would consider factories. Okay, he owns several pieces of land with lots of livestock, lots of servants. And so all of his servants get killed. All of his livestock gets taken away. And his kids, they all die. Their house collapses in a big storm, like the wind knocks down the house, and they all die. So Job finds this out, and he's just like, he still won't get mad at God. He's like, oh, that really sucks. But you know what? I'm still going to worship God anyway. So then, back to this conversation between the devil and God. You know, the devil's like, well, you know, I took all these things away from him, but I didn't get to hurt him, his personal self. And God's like, go for it, man. See what happens. So the devil goes in and gives him like this huge rash, like basically boils. Have you ever seen like on YouTube these pictures of people popping boils? I'm like, I wish that no one ever videotaped that kind of stuff. Anyway, so he had that over his body. So, and Job still refuses to curse God, and he's like, you know what, this sucks, but I'm going to just be mad by myself. Because he has a skin affliction, he has to go outside the city, and he sits like on there. You guys, I mean, we're in the Bay Area, but in rural places, you burn your trash. Have you guys ever seen that? A trash pile that you know. I'm like, why? That guy started a fire. And my wife's like, that's a trash pile. I don't know what that means. It sounds like arson. So actually, you can burn your garbage in places where the garbage men don't come. So in Job's place, they have this trash area where they burn it. And that's where he's sitting. And he's treating his own ailment. Okay, he's like scraping off dead skin. And that's where we find him now. Okay, this is where Job is. Then Job has 3 friends that come visit him. They come see him, and they're just like, oh, my friend, oh my goodness. They see him, tear off their outer robe, and they come sit with him in the pile of ashes. Now, I would say that one of the most valuable resources you can have ever is good friends. I think that is probably one of the most, like, one of the best resources, better than money, better than like a life preserver if you're drowning. My opinion, I think friendship is very profound, very powerful. Now, so much so that in my own situation, I value my friends because I'm like, man, I can like work through my stuff, getting laid off, if I can just get through this, my own mental depression. But my friends can help me get through that. Only my friends can help me get through that. And so Job's in a situation where his friends come and try to be a support to him. I mean, I value friends. I think friendship, like that God was able to give us friends. He's able to give you, here's a gift of friendship. Okay, that is probably one of the greatest gifts he could ever give you, greatest resource. And I'm watching my kid watch her cartoons. You know, My Little Pony made a big comeback. You guys are aware of this? When I was little, it was a cartoon. Now it's very big. And so my daughter, Penelope, is watching My Little Pony. And they all have these magical powers. And this one pony, she has like a shadow power or something like that. She's kind of dealing with like her identity. And then this greater, more powerful pony, magical creature, says to her, that's no longer your power. Now you have, and I jokingly say to my daughter, the power of friendship. And then the cartoon says the power of friendship, and I was like, That was my joke, and then it's really a cartoon. But anyway, and my daughter's like, oh, he has the power. Like, she loves that. Like, she's like, really wants that power. Anyway, but I do feel like it is a very great resource for all of us to have great friends. Now, if you guys ever watched the movie Mean Girls, there's this term called frenemies. Frenemies. It's like enemies, frenemies. So frenemies are people who are kind of fake to you, and then they're a little conniving at the same time. Say something stupid, and you're like, that was very nice. Why are you in my house? So Job, he's on this pile of ashes. He's upset about everything in his life being taken away, and his body hurts. He's cast out of the city that he was like the man. In that city, he was the man, and now he's just outside in the pile of ashes. Total cast out. And his friends come up, and they sit with him in total silence for 7 days. It's pretty good friendship, I think. But then Job says something. He opens his mouth, and he's just like, you know what? I curse the day I was born. This sucks. I've been wronged. This is messed up. Like, God is not looking out for me right now. And so his friends, his so-called friends, say, look, man, look, don't try to hide it. We know that you have done something wrong in order to have deserved this. God does not punish the wicked. You did something and you don't want to admit it. Just admit it. You messed up. You did something to deserve all this. His kids are dead. His livestock's all been taken. All of his servants are dead or taken. And then he himself is afflicted with a rash, boils, and he is cast out of his own town. And they're going to tell him it's his fault. They're going to tell him it's his fault. So this is where this frenemies comes into play. Okay. At this point, their words are not only annoying, but very hurtful. Okay. So I'm going to read this scripture to you. Oh, you know what? Actually, because we don't have the projector, I'm remembering. If you have your Bibles, pull it out. We're going to go to Job chapter 19. If you have your phone, go to Job chapter 19. I just type in Google, Job 19. And then the first thing is Bible Gateway. And then it brings it up. I'll be reading from the NIV, New International Version. Job is a super long book, and in chapter 19, that's pretty much near the middle, not even in the middle. And he's already getting tired of his friends accusing him of stuff that he's done. No evidence, just that you're suffering, this is your fault. All right, I'm going to read it out loud and keep up. Then Job replied, chapter 19, verses 1 through 6. That's it, just 1 through 6 today. Then Job replied, how long will you torment me and crush me with words? 10 times now you have reproached me. Shamelessly you attack me. If it is true that I have gone astray, my error remains my concern alone. If indeed you would exalt yourselves above me and use my humiliation against me, then know that God has wronged me and drawn his net around me. So Job is pretty irritated at his friends, and he's basically saying, can you shut up? Can you stop being a jerk and conniving? There's a lot to unpack here, and I'm just going to do a little bit here. Verses 1 through 3, where it says, how long will you torment me and crush me with words? 10 times you have reproached me. Shamelessly you attack me. Now, what I'm going to say to you is this, okay? When someone is suffering, when someone is going through it, watch what you say. This is like utmost importance. When someone is suffering, watch what you say. Don't come in to blame them. Well, if they had only this or they had only that. When I was a little kid, I'd get hurt. My grandparents were watching me, sort of. They'd be in the house and I'm outside playing. That's like how we were in the 80s. And I'd get hurt. Boom, I get really messed up. Like, Grandpa, I'm hurt. And he'd come out, and the first thing he would say was, "Te dije," which means, "I told you." As in, like, you were watching me and you told me not to jump on this thing that I fell off of? No, dude, like, I'm out here by myself, making it work, making magic happen in the driveway, and I fell and got hurt, dude. Like, no one told me, no one warned me, I fell and got hurt. Don't try to accuse me of anything. When someone is in the middle of suffering, watch what you say. Okay? This is extremely important. You think, oh, just don't say anything. Very simple. But then sometimes things happen, and you get talking, and you say something stupid. When someone is suffering, watch what you say. They think that they're reasoning with Job. His interpretation is they're attacking him. Okay? This is a man who's lost everything, and they're attacking him with words. Let's go to verse 4. If it is true that I have gone astray, my error remains my concern alone. Which is very interesting. It is not their concern if he has gone astray, if he's done anything wrong to deserve this. Okay? It's not up to them. Okay? Now, when he says it's my concern alone, I think that they think they're in a place to correct him. They're not. It is not the right time. They are not the right people, and that is not the right way to bring correction. Okay? Now, Job's mentor comes into that scene, and then here comes so-and-so, who is the wisest man of all, who Job was learning from before as a child. And then he comes in and says, Job, don't listen to these guys. Listen to me. Hey, look at me. That doesn't happen. It's some guys that are his friends who say stuff, and they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they talk about. The scripture is very clear. Job did nothing. These guys accuse him. They do not know what they're talking about. And so, it is none of their concern if he made any error or not. Correction is for the right person in the right timing. This is very key. Someone's in the middle of suffering. Correction is for the right person in the right timing. You show up. Well, if you had just not done that, it's not your job. It's not your place. It's there's like a degree of humility that is required of you to not tell someone what they did wrong when they're in the middle of suffering. Okay? Now, I'm telling you this because it is very difficult in our society and our culture to understand that, we're not all going to be rich. We're not all going to make it. Okay? We're not all going to have it dialed in and put together, buttoned down. Okay? People make mistakes. People settle in the middle of the road, and sometimes things go wrong. Can you just say nothing and not try to bring correction to someone in the middle of suffering? That can be very difficult. Because you're like, oh, he did something wrong, and that's why he's in pain now. Shut up. Don't say anything. The wisest thing they did was not talk. And this is the friends here are very wise and very successful people as well. Correction is for the right person in the right timing. Sometimes you want to correct somebody. Oh, I just want to tell them right now. Shut up. That can get settled out later on. In the middle of suffering, it's not the right time. Now let's go to verses 5 through 6. If indeed you would exalt yourselves above me and use my humiliation against me, then know that God has wronged me and drawn his net around me. Two things happening here. If indeed you would exalt yourselves above me and use my humiliation against me, then know that God has wronged me and drawn his net around me. So if you would use my humiliation to exalt yourself, okay? People do that. People are very competitive. When I play a sport and I play soccer, when I get the ball away from my opponent and he starts to stumble, okay, this happens a few times. I get the ball here and the guy here, I will push off of him and dribble away from him. And he will never catch up to me because I push so hard. And anyway, so I'll use his stumble to my advantage. And that's in a sport, very competitive. If I hurt him, I will feel bad and help him out. The other thing that we see here is that know that God has wronged me and drawn his net around me. Okay, now what does that mean? If they're humiliating me, they're using my humiliation against me, how is that God using, wronging me? This whole time, Job considers God wronging him. Everything that went wrong. Okay? And so at this point, they are just another part of his suffering. Another thing, another disaster. Another supernatural disaster is these three friends that kind of suck. Okay? They are another part of Job's suffering. Now, you might think, well, losing your kids is a lot worse than having someone come and accuse you. Is it? He's already down. This is essentially kicking someone when they're down. Okay? To come in and accuse them of these things. It can be just as painful as the initial loss, being reminded of it and said that it's your fault. So, my point to you is don't make yourself another part of Job's suffering. Don't make yourself just another thing that sucks for this guy. Okay? Well, there was one time I actually ended up in a hospital. I don't like hospitals. I would not go to them if I didn't ever really have to. I went on a mission trip to Thailand. Okay? And we had a great adventure in the wilderness out there, teaching kids in these mountains. Like kids would have to hike to their school and then stay in the dorms there for a few days and then hike back to their parents' ranch and work there and then hike back. And that was their cycle for education. It was really interesting. Then we went to Bangkok and there's really nice skyscrapers and extreme poverty. I remember there's a homeless guy who was just dragging his body like this, pushed a cup for change, and then I was like, dang, this is really intense poverty here. In the U.S., he would live in a hospital somewhere. We're in some of the restaurants were extremely beautiful. We're in this one restaurant where I saw a huge rat go by, and and I looked at the waiter, and he saw it too, and we both looked at each other I won't say anything if you don't. So I just was whatever. I'm not going to ruin this. I don't know the rules here in this country. Let's just eat and get out of here. So I got back to the U.S. And the next day I went to go tell this friend of mine all about my trip. So I was like, hey, let's meet up. And I went to Safeway first and I got chips and salsa. I go to the deli and I get this really nice salsa that's fresh, really good stuff. Now, while I was gone though, there was a big tomato recall. So none of the grocery stores are selling tomatoes. Except I didn't realize that this salsa has fresh tomatoes in it. That did not get pulled from the shelves. So I ate that salsa. My friend didn't want it. I remember that my friend didn't want it. I was like, no, I don't want it. I'm okay. I was like, well, it's really good stuff. So I had that whole thing right in front of me. So a couple days later, I get a fever. Oh man, I got a fever. Well, I got work to do. So I just kept thinking the fever would break and I'd be fine. And it's a week and a half. And someone's like, Tylenol brings down a fever. Okay. So I just start taking Tylenol to reduce my fever. And I get through my work day. But then my sister has a baby. This is a really long story. Then my sister has a baby. Everything leads to something else. My sister has this baby and we're talking on the phone and I want to go see them, but I'm sick. And she's like, you can't come see the baby until you're healthy. Well, it's been a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I go to the hospital. All right, doctors, I have fever. Whatever. Make it go away. So I thought they would give me a little secret, here, take this special pill that takes your fever away. I don't know how doctors work. And they do nothing for me. They send me down. They say, we got to run a lot of tests on you. There's something going on. We don't know what. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? I don't have time or money for this. I'm going to go. No, we cannot let you go. You can't let me go. So they actually bring me to a room, and there's this really old guy sleeping there. And I'm like, I have a room at home with no one sleeping in it. I just do this at home. So they actually make that guy leave, and they quarantine me. And they say, we don't know what you have. First thing they say to me, we don't know what you have, but we're testing you for HIV and hepatitis C. Those kill people, man. I didn't party in Thailand. I didn't do the things that would result in that. This kind of sucks. If you would have told me I'm going to get these diseases somehow, make it happen then. Now, so I'm in this, I don't know what's wrong. They don't know what's wrong with me. They just freak me out. And I'm sitting there like, I'm really sick. And they won't let me take Tylenol anymore. They say that you can only take like 2 a day or something like that. I'm like, or whatever it's not, I was abusing it before I went in there to keep my fever down. They wouldn't give it to me. So I'm sitting there in this hospital bed thinking that I'm dying. And my brain is boiling at like 110 degrees. I mean, like, shivering. This fever is insane. And some people will come visit me and be very supportive, and I was very thankful for that. And this one guy, I had just started working at a church at this time. And so this one guy from the church comes to visit me. And I thought, wow, big of him to come visit me. I'm not like super close with him. I was very happy that he came. And it was very awkward. Like, we didn't know what to say to each other. We didn't know each other very well. And eventually he says to me, I don't like to get sick either. I just have to man up. I just have to suck it up. And I was like, I want to. I'm a man, but I can't stop whatever I have. I don't even know what it is. And so it's so awkward when he said that. Like, I should just man up. And then, started feeling the fever come back, and I'm thinking, am I even a man? What am I? What did I do? Am I weak? I'm starting to think this. And then it gets awkward. We run out of things to say to each other after that comment. He's like, well, I'm going to go, and he leaves. And my fever spikes higher than it had ever been. And they can't give me Tylenol. The nurse comes in, this little guy comes in, he's like, hey, can I help you with anything? I'm in a lot of pain right now. My friend left, and I'm in a lot of pain. He's like, do you want ice? Dude, I would love ice. Just all the ice on the earth, bring it here, freeze me, and then thaw me out when you find a cure. And anyway, so he leaves to get ice. And he's gone for a while. This hospital has 2 nurses for 26 floors. So he's gone for a while. And I'm sitting there thinking, what did I do to deserve this? Am I not a man? I'm not tough? Why do I'm trying to help people, going to Thailand, working at a church, and I'm like, why am I suffering? I'm like this is one of Job's things. I'm thinking that that's so cliche. And then 10 more minutes of this fever boiling in my brain, I'm like, I'm Job, this sucks. And I'm really losing it in this quarantine room by myself. I'm really losing my mind. I don't know what to do. And then I hear the door start to open. And I look over and I'm like, who's that? And this 100-year-old lady comes in. She pokes her head in. Just offering prayer? Yeah, good. I'm praying. So she comes in, and her little hands, she touches my hand. Doesn't even know I'm in quarantine. She don't know what I have. She's like, how many years do I have left in it? So she comes and touches my hand and prays for me. The nurse comes in with the ice. And this little guy, he comes in and puts the ice in my hand. And he starts to pray for me. He's not supposed to. I don't think he is. He's like praying like that. And I can hear the lady praying for me. And the ice, the prayer, just having someone there, I started to feel better. Anyway, after a couple more days, they figured out I had salmonella from the stupid tomatoes that I ate in the salsa. They thought it had something to do with Thailand. So they had 2 teams of doctors trying to research what's going on. People that come visit me have to wear a mask. It's a real deal. It was salmonella. I should have been throwing up. That would have been a symptom to indicate that. But I was too tough. So I just had a fever. Anyway, the point is, though, that my friend's little comment just drove me nuts. it like added, it compounded my suffering because I think it's my own fault. Okay? And then just like him leaving made me feel better. But then this old lady who I didn't even know, this nurse who I don't even know that guy's name. And that was the only time I saw him. Like just being supportive of me. It just really made a big difference. Okay, this is my ultimate point to you. Suffer with. Okay, when someone is in the middle of suffering, like put it out of your mind that you can gain any advantage. Okay, put on the mindset of like, if Christ died for me, I need to help this person. I need to have something. I didn't deserve it when Christ died for me. What can I do for this person? Sometimes when you're in the middle of suffering, all you need is someone to sit with you, call you, hear you, not accuse you of any wrongdoing. Just listen. Now, we have this world that we are like, need to be reconciled to God. And the only way to do that is to admit that we are broken, that we are all just fallen people who need a Savior. And in that mentality, we can help each other more appropriately. Because you have a job and I don't, doesn't mean you're better than me. We are still fallen people. We need help. So I wanted to give you guys an illustration of what it's like to sit with someone and not step over them. So, Jelly, could you please come up here? I know you've done a lot already today. This is like one more thing, I guess. Anyone more volunteer? Ken, can you come up here? Come on, Ken. Come on. So here's what we're going to do. Let's say that Ken is on the ground. Can you please sit? Sit? Yeah, lay down. Okay, and turn to that side over there. Thank you so much. He's right on. And let's say that Jelly is your friend. Let's just say that. I don't want to speak for her right now. Now, in this hypothetical situation where they happen to be friends, Jelly, could you please come sit right behind him with your back to him? Let me give you guys an illustration of sitting with someone, suffering with someone. So now, in this situation, they are back to back, both sitting down. Jelly is not standing over him, pushing him down, and trying to get an NBA championship out of this. So, what I would like for you two to do is link arms, if you can. Yeah, just like that. Now, with your feet put in front of you, I would like for the two of you to stand up. You have to use each other to balance this. Wow. Did you guys see that? It worked out. Did it feel weird though? Like, because he carried you, and she carried you a little bit. Wow. See how that works? You guys can have a seat. Did they do okay? They did okay. Thank you guys for your volunteership. That was great. Now that is the picture that I want for you to have in your mind when you see someone suffering. Okay. Now it's hard to always keep that in your mind. It's just like what they did this wrong, they did that wrong. I don't need to go help them. I don't need to care about them. And I've heard that a million times. There's this guy. I read his book a long time ago. He saw in the news that some teenagers were in the streets and they're on drugs and they killed a person. They killed an innocent person in New York. And this pastor in Pennsylvania, he saw it on the news. And everyone's like, boy, teenagers, man, where's this world coming to? And he says, well, what are these kids going through that's making them act crazy? So he prays about it. He's like, I don't know, something's bothering me about this. I got to go do something. He told his church, guys, I think I got to go to New York and just find these kids and see what's going on with them. I think I need to help them. So he gets in his car with no plan. He prays, and through a series of different mistakes he makes, he finds himself right at the front doorstep of the kid who's on trial for murder. And it turns out that he cannot help this kid. But he finds that there are several kids like him in New York. This is like in the 80s, I believe. And so this pastor ends up making a big life choice to leave his church in Pennsylvania and start a program to help young kids who are on the streets addicted to drugs. He sees that they are doing wrong, and he doesn't want to judge them but he wants to sit with them, literally live with them, and help them through recovery, through study of Scripture and prayer. That program that he started was called Teen Challenge. Okay, they're like an international program. They have great results. But that is an epitome of just seeing strangers who are hurting other people, but he still has some compassion for them. Okay, suffering with someone. That's what I'm talking about today. Because Job has these friends who end up sucking and accusing him of stuff. What good is that? What good is it to accuse him of what he may or may not have done? We know from the narrative that he did nothing. But whether he did something or not, that's not the place. And so as we are, as you live your life and you're going through it, you're in the middle of some trial, or you're suffering, you're hurt. Okay, things happen. Things that are stupid, and you're like, wow, that sucked. Okay, things happen. But to keep your mentality right, to be able to worship God even though bad things happen, to have friends come with you, sit with you, maybe support you, that can make all the difference. Now, when I say going through it, I mean like sometimes just stupid things happen. You get frustrated. I mean, even last night and this morning, trying to set this up. Okay, I texted Jelly this morning. Do you need any help setting up? She says, no, we got it. She didn't realize everything that unfolded right beforehand. So I get here and I find Jelly and Casey. I mean, come on, she's not that big. And she's unloading all these big crates out of that moving van. Like, okay, I instantly knew what happened. I see Joel has crutches, and here's Casey and Jelly. 3 people here. One of them's on crutches. I'm like, okay, just get working. Sometimes things happen. Joel fell and his foot went through some glass, so he's got stitches last night. Another guy couldn't be here. Another guy got his car towed. And here we are with our team trying to figure it out. Sometimes things just happen. I mean, this is just for church. Sometimes people lose a job. Their house gets foreclosed. Okay, marriage is falling apart. Kids get hooked on drugs. Okay, sometimes bad things happen. What I'm saying is, let's be a church of compassion, who can suffer with your friends, who can sit with your friend and not judge, and just listen and be a support. Leave correction for another time, for someone who is maybe more in place to do that. But can we suffer with? Don't be one of Job's sufferings. Can we go through it with people? Now, this is a big question because hopefully your whole life you can live that way. Now, as I challenge this church to do that, I'm going to take a minute here to pray. Jelly, can you come up again and carry the load? We're just going to do a little bit of prayer time because maybe some of you are suffering. Maybe some of you are going through it, and I'm trying to tell you that the secret ingredient, I think, is having some good, positive friends that want to be there for you. Okay. Not only do you turn to God, but hopefully He's able to send you some good friends. The other thing is that maybe you're not going through it right now. Maybe you are, but maybe you have someone in your proximity who's going through it, who is suffering. And you need to be a support to them. Maybe if there's something silly that you think, you're really bent out of shape over this, maybe it's something that's way over your head, and you're like, I gotta be there for this person. I think we need everyone to be there for this person. So the 2 things that we are going to pray about today, that you would be able to support others, and that people would be able to support you as well.